Listen to this. Okay, I had this dream.
A talking rhinoceros doing stand-up comedy in a thick German accent. This is not your standard theater fare. It's a rehearsal for an avant-garde performance called Animal Magnetism that is about to get its debut in China. The story about two unlikely lovers, a chimpanzee and a rhino, was chosen to be a part of this year's Wuzhen Theater Festival.
It's about these two very, very different characters who are attracted to one another, and they're dealing with forces that are far outside of their control, which is much the way our lives are.
O'Reilly wrote Animal Magnetism 18 years ago. He recently adapted it for a puppet performance. He is also co-artistic director at Mabu Mines. Mabu Mines was founded in this building in 1970. Since then, it has staged more than 120 productions and won upwards of 100 awards. It's an integral part of the experimental theater scene in New York, also known as the avant-garde, which first emerged in the late 1800s. It is still popular in many parts of the world, but not in the United States.
I would say the average American has little to no tolerance for the avant-garde.
Dodd Loomis, who co-directed Animal Magnetism, says that's because American audiences largely want to be entertained, not challenged. Another impediment is funding. In many countries, the arts are supported by government funds. In the U.S., the arts rely mainly on individual donations.
The idea that Mabu Mines has been around for 47 years and still going is a miracle. It takes blood, sweat, and tears every day to do that.
To survive, theater companies like Mabu Mines are going to where the market is, places like China.
There's a sort of a big rush towards sort of accessing different types of cultural activity in China right now. And so I think it'll be particularly interesting to see what that response is and see how where that enthusiasm or where that cross-cultural exchange happens on the stage.
Puppetry designer and director Jessica Scott is also looking forward to her first performance in China.
I'm curious to find out what avant-garde means for China in terms of its political content. I mean, a lot of people assume that the avant-garde is inherently political or critical, which is quite often not the case.
Animal Magnetism will have 4 performances at the Wuzhen Theater Festival between October 25th and 28th. Karina Huber, CGTN, New York.